Yes, it's me. I'm a little bit dappered up today, just a little bit with the quarters. It's okay, right? Everything will be all right. The sky is still there. The ground didn't crack in half. We're all good. All right. I figured that I had to kind of come a little bit more spiffied up because I have been following the Megan Thee Stallion Milagro Gramz trial and lawsuit and all of that. And, now that the verdict is out and, Megan Thee Stallion has pretty much won her lawsuit against Milagro Gramz, I decided to come to the forefront a little bit more spiffied up. I hope y'all can appreciate that. If you ever needed a case study, all right, I'm gonna bring the mic a little closer. If you ever needed a case study on how not to do journalism, how not to use AI, and definitely not to handle losing in court, then look no further than this case, all right? This legal saga of Megan Thee Stallion versus commentator Milagro Gramz, okay? Now, Milagro, very, very familiar with her. I've seen her content. Obviously Megan Thee Stallion. We all know who Megan Thee Stallion is. Now, Milagro Gramz, aka the first known instance of someone losing a defamation lawsuit and immediately logging on to Instagram live like it was a victory tour. This is just peak 2025 energy right here. All right. AI deepfakes, social media journalists. Okay, I got to put that in quotes. Legal statements that contradict reality, and Megan Thee Stallion simply saying, read. Truly, like the culture is very rich right now. Now, let's look at this case, all right? The verdict is in, but we got to realize, and kind of deep dive into how we got here, all right? Now, Megan Thee Stallion, right? Grammy winner, undisputed CEO of Megan Needs LLC. She sued fellow Texas blogger Milagro Gramz after she circulated false claims and helped to kind of push an AI generated pornographic video intended to look like Megan Thee Stallion. Now, that's not just petty internet beef. That is, I will see you in federal court territory. Now, a Miami jury, because this, whole thing was held in Miami, they agreed and they found Milagro liable for defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and promotion of an altered sexual depiction, aka spreading a deepfake. Now, the jury originally awarded $75,000 to Megan Thee Stallion, but because of a technicality involving media defendants, it kind of dropped down to $59,000. Now, Megan wasn't chasing the bag here because I believe she originally sued her for a few $1,000,000. I'm not exactly sure the correct amount, but it was a few $1,000,000. Now, she wasn't really just chasing the bag, right? She wasn't trying to get rich off of this, but she was chasing accountability and she got it. Now, after years of, what some would deem as online smears and lies and targeted harassment, some of which Megan testified pushed her into very intensive therapy that cost around $240,000. The court pretty much said enough's enough. Now, this verdict wasn't about getting rich, like I said. It was about setting a precedent in an era where anybody with a Wi-Fi connection and a ring light can declare themselves a journalist, okay? Now, let's go into Milagro's response, okay? A lot of people have been calling it the Lulu Olympics. Now, most people, when a judge, a jury, court clerk, the transcript, and the verdict from all of them say liable, a lot of people would maybe sit quietly and reflect, possibly look for a PR strategy. No, not Milagro. She ain't do none of that. She walked out of court, pulled out her phone, and hit go live and declared, I didn't lose. The judge was literally still in the building. Roll the tape.
I'm gonna start working on my mixtape because apparently the only place where you can bully people and talk crazy and pop shit is in the studio. But anywhere else is off limits. So I'm gonna go get on my mixtape shit and make sure I channel all my energy into my raps and put that out and let that be artistic expression. But I love you guys so much. I hope that y'all can see the bigger picture and that you understand what new media is. I hope that you understand that the things that we do and the work that we put in is valuable. And yeah, solid bitches, they ain't built, they born. You understand? So I'm happy that I stood up for something that I believed in, followed it all the way through, and I don't need validation from anybody else about those things. So I love you guys, and I'm so appreciative of you guys. Somebody said, I heard you lost your lawsuit. I heard you should go stream. I heard you blocked too. Listen, all I'm ever gonna do is block y'all. I don't get on the internet and cry about what y'all say. So thank you for the engagement. And so shout out to new media. Like I said, thank you to everybody that has supported me. And hold on, let me block you too, baby. Hold on. Hold on. See, you see all these fans of mine? You see how they gonna run over here to come see me? As always, we love you back. So anyway, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I can't wait for us to get back to it because we ain't even did a show in a while. So I'm excited about that. And child, one chapter closes, another one opens. Don't let certain things be the end of your world. You know what I'm saying? Handle your shit, hold your head up, chin up, buttercup, and keep it moving.
Yeah, man. So as you see, right, that was Milagro, pretty much right after the verdict, on live stream, I guess on, Instagram Live, just talking to her fans and, pretty much saying, hey, it's all good in the hood, right? Now, I will say this, right? Again, Megan Thee Stallion did sue her for, was suing her for millions of dollars, okay? But ended up walking away with, not that much as a foundation. Now, we still got to say that Milagro still has to pay Megan's lawyer fees, right? So they still got to tabulate, formulate all that stuff up just to see exactly what those figures are going to be. I think that those lawyer fees could be anywhere in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. So, the monetary damages are not done yet. All right. But initially it's around $59,000. Okay. So it's much shorter than the millions of dollars that Megan was suing for. But again, I don't think Megan was suing Milagro for, all this money to try and get some sort of, Cardi B payout, right? We all know about the Cardi B, Tasha K feud, right? I don't think it was that. It was more so like, yo, I'm going to make some sort of example out of you, however way that I can do that. All right. Now, Milagro's attorney, right? They even released a statement implying that she wasn't found liable. Let's listen to this. While many outlets are reporting that Miss Cooper was found liable for defamation, the final judgment of the court is that Miss Cooper is not liable for defamation. Miss Cooper ultimately prevailed on Miss Pete's leading accusation, defamation, and the jury awarded a nominal amount of damages compared to millions of dollars Miss Pete demanded from Miss Cooper throughout the course of the litigation. Juries are called to make difficult decisions on complicated questions of law and fact. While we do not agree completely with the jury's verdict, we respect its verdict and we thank the jury for giving us their time and attention for more than 2 weeks. Ms. Pete and her attorneys asked the jury to send a message to the community by awarding Ms. Pete with an astronomical amount of damages. Indeed, the jury rejected Ms. Pete's request and refused to send any such messages as shown by the nominal damages Ms. Pete recovered. Evidently, the jury did not believe that Ms. Cooper was the sole cause of Ms. Pete's emotional distress, and that is reflected in their verdict. The jury's verdict also reminds us all that you cannot sue media defendants without providing the proper due process. We remain proud of the defense we presented and of Ms. Cooper's willingness to stand up for her voice. The broader questions about protecting online speech, defining the boundary between opinion and defamation, and safeguarding independent creators will continue to be critically important. Ms. Cooper claims her rightful position as a new media commentator, talk show host, and media personality. Right. Now, one of the big things about this case was the ability for Milagro to show that she is actually considered media. Okay. Now, the reason why that's important is because if she were found to be media, then the defamation part of it would be thrown out, because defamation would have to have occurred after there was some sort of cease and desist that was given to them. And because a cease and desist was never given to Milagro, and if she's considered media, then that would just be thrown out, right? The defamation would be thrown out. So that's why there's a big emphasis on, Milagro being seen as media. Now, as far as everything else, they did find her liable for. Megan's legal team, all right, after Milagro's team put out that statement, Megan's legal team, they had to step in like the adults in the room and go, today, the jury that presided over Megan Thee Stallion's lawsuit against Milagro Gramz in the Southern District of Florida, defendant Milagro liable for all 3 counts: defamation, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and promotion of an altered sexual depiction for spreading false and harmful misinformation on social media. The jury found that Milagro deliberately harmed Megan with her malicious conduct on social media, resulting in the jury awarding Megan with $75,000. Additionally, under Florida law, Milagro's liability for reposting the deepfake pornographic video will also require her to reimburse Megan for legal fees. We're thankful for the jury's commitment to reinforcing the importance of truth, accountability, and responsible commentary on social media. Megan's attorney, Marie Henderson, said not only is Milagro being held accountable for paying Megan compensatory and punitive damages, but Florida's fee-shifting legal provision will require her to cover costs of Megan's legal bills on the deepfake claim. This verdict sends a clear message that spreading dangerous misinformation carries significant consequences. Contrary to public statements issued by Milagro's attorneys, the court has not issued a final judgment regarding the defamation count. The judge will make a final ruling and determine the entire financial amount that Milagro will be required to pay Megan, inclusive of legal bills and the defamation count, at a later date. Megan's legal team has also submitted a formal letter to Milagro's team counsel highlighting their blatant misrepresentation of the jury's verdict, noting they are continuing to post defamatory content and requesting they retract the comments immediately. So as you can clearly see, Megan's team said, no ma'am, all right? She was liable on all 3 counts. But Milagro kept going. She's telling her followers that the verdict was a win for new media. She also said that the lawsuit inspired her to kind of focus on her music career. If losing a federal case is your marketing plan, you need a new marketing plan, okay? Now, during the live stream, you saw she blocked a few viewers in real time for mentioning the verdict, right? Like, oh, I heard you lost your lawsuit. Then Milagro said, I heard you should go straight, right? This is the first time in history that somebody has tried to block a federal ruling like it's a spam comment. Now, Megan's response, okay, let's talk about that. Now, meanwhile, right, all of this is going on. Megan left the courtroom and she appeared to be glowing, right? She was glowing like she just got a new lace front, right? Like she just got a new lease on life. When asked how she felt, she simply said, I'm just happy. Roll it.
I'm just happy.
And then after that, she did hop on social media and said what a lot of people were thinking. Here they go, lying as usual. If you want real media or news, know how to be patient and know how to read. Translation, please stop getting your information from people who think Instagram Live is a courtroom. Okay? Now, what's the bigger picture here, okay? Why does this verdict matter? Beyond the jokes and the silliness and all of that, this case was a pretty big deal, right? We are living in an era where AI can fake your face, your body, your voice, really your whole existence. And strangers with platforms can amplify it for clicks. Courts are finally catching up to the reality that deepfakes are a weapon, not entertainment, not gossip, but a weapon. This verdict says, number one, you can't hide behind free speech while purposely lying about somebody. You can't push AI generated sexual content of a real person and call it commentary. You can't create a digital mess and then declare yourself a martyr for the First Amendment. All right. Free speech protects opinions, criticism, and commentary. Right. I am a commentary. I I'm a commentary channel. I do commentary. That's what I do, right? I do give opinions on things all the time, but it doesn't protect defamation, right? Fabrication or sexualized deepfake abuse. Now, here's what I will say. As far as the deepfake video goes, right, I'm not sure if any of you have seen it. I'm definitely not going to show it on this channel, but there was a deepfake video of what appeared to be Megan Thee Stallion floating around on the internet, right? Milagro, she liked the video and told her audience to go see her likes on Twitter so that they can see the video if they didn't see it at all. Now, she was hit with promoting the video, right? Now, to a lot of Milagro's fans, that wasn't looked at as promoting anything, right? Because here's the thing. When you think of promoting, right? When you think of someone promoting something, you think of a rapper promoting an album, right? You think of, you know, a movie star, you know, telling people to go watch their latest film, right? You don't think about what Milagro did as promotion, right? All she did was say, hey, you know, if you didn't see the video, I got it in my likes. Go check it. Go check the video, right? You know, but in the court of law, that is promotion, right? That is promoting it. Now, Milagro wasn't punished for being a blogger, so to speak. She was punished for being wrong, malicious, and loud about it. All right. If you have been on the internet for any stretch of time, even if you didn't know who Milagro was, there's a chance that you did see or hear a live stream clip or something go on the internet in regards to, you know, her talking about Megan Thee Stallion. You just did. I mean, she was one of the premier faces of people talking crazy about Megan Thee Stallion. She just was. Even after the verdict, Milagro and her team released statements claiming the judge found her not liable for defamation. To be honest, ma'am, this isn't Uno, right? Like, you don't get to reverse the verdict. Now, what should the takeaway be? The takeaway should be, at the end of the day, Megan won more than a lawsuit, all right? To be honest, she won precedent, right? She won a precedent, a message, and a moment of peace for herself. And Milagro, she won a bill, a judgment on her record, and maybe an EP that nobody asked for. The courts have spoken, the internet has watched, and, you know, Megan Thee Stallion has once again shown that confidence is quiet, facts are facts, and sometimes the best clapback are these simple words: know how to read. Now, again, Milagro is looking at this as a victory for those that consider what we do as new media, and she's telling everybody that they have to look at the bigger picture. So yes, she may be liable for certain things, but at the end of the day, she is looked at as new media. And from what I see, and shout out to Armon Wigins for this, he just posted and highlighted a partial legal victory for Milagro in her defamation suit, in which the judge signed off on Milagro being a media defendant, which causes the defamation claim to be dropped. You know, again, what I stated, Milagro will now owe $59,000 according to these documents, instead of the original $75,000 that was put on her, right? Now, really, again, there's no real winners in this case. Yes, Megan did win in this, but, you know, you don't celebrate a jury verdict that a black woman intentionally inflicted emotional distress on another black woman, right? It is not a cause for celebration when someone was determined to have promoted fake sexually explicit video of another person. You know what I'm saying? That is really the news for this whole situation. This is what I thought about it. Those are my thoughts. Let me know, you know, have you been covering this case? Have you been, you know, looking into this case? Did y'all even know who Milagro Gramz was? Okay. Let me know all of that down below in the comments, man. Also, if you made it this far, don't forget to smack a like on the video. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you get notified of all my videos when I drop them. And also don't forget to subscribe for the one time. Peace. Wow.